Think your Monday morning coffee run is dangerous? Wait until you hear about the genius who tried to make espresso using a pressure cooker and gunpowder. From explosive breakfast mishaps to gravity-defying stupidity, we're serving up 10 tales that'll make you grateful for your boring, safe life. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another absolutely mind-melting episode of Wow Amazing. Today, we're diving deep into Volume 31 of our Top 10 Most Stupid Darwin Award winners. But before we jump into these jaw-dropping tales of human, let's call it creativity, make sure you absolutely demolish that subscribe button and ring that notification bell like your life depends on it. Number 10, DIY rocket science. We're launching our countdown with a tale that gives new meaning to the phrase, reach for the stars. In 2019, a 34-year-old engineering dropout decided he was going to build a homemade rocket to prove the Earth was flat, because apparently thousands of years of science and those pesky NASA photos just weren't convincing enough. Our backyard astronaut had been down the flat Earth rabbit hole for about 2 years, ever since he discovered YouTube conspiracy videos during a particularly lonely period following his third divorce. What started as casual skepticism quickly evolved into full-blown delusion, complete with hand-drawn diagrams covering every wall of his garage and a growing collection of research materials that would make any college dropout weep with envy. He'd convinced himself that he was the chosen one, the brave soul who would finally expose the globe lie to the world. His plan was elegantly simple: launch himself high enough to see the supposed edge of the flat Earth, take some photos, and become the most famous whistleblower in human history. The fact that professional rockets cost millions of dollars and require teams of actual rocket scientists was just a minor detail he chose to ignore. Our backyard astronaut spent months crafting his masterpiece out of scrap metal, duct tape, and what we can only assume was pure delusion. The rocket looked like what would happen if a garbage disposal had a baby with a shopping cart and raised it on a steady diet of bad decisions. He'd borrowed materials from construction sites, convinced local welders to help with his art project, and somehow managed to acquire enough rocket fuel to power a small aircraft. The engineering was so questionable that even his flat Earth buddies started backing away slowly. The big day arrived, and with a crowd of equally brilliant spectators cheering him on, he climbed into his metal coffin. Sorry, spacecraft. The rocket did launch for about 12 glorious seconds. Then physics remembered it had a job to do. The contraption nosedived faster than his hopes and dreams, creating what witnesses described as the world's most expensive lawn dart. The impact crater was so perfectly round that conspiracy theorists later claimed it was evidence of government cover-up. The irony, his rocket actually did prove something about the Earth, specifically that gravity works exactly the way those pesky scientists said it would. Let this be a lesson, folks. If you're going to challenge centuries of scientific knowledge, maybe start with something smaller, like whether toast always lands butter side down. Speaking of people who should have started with smaller experiments. Number 9, the selfie specialist. Ever been so obsessed with getting the perfect selfie that you forgot where you were standing? Well, our next Darwin Award winner took this to a whole new level of spectacular stupidity. In 2020, a 22-year-old influencer wannabe was determined to get the ultimate cliffside selfie for her Instagram. Because nothing says, "follow me for life advice," like literally hanging off the edge of certain death, right? Our social media starlet had been planning this epic photo shoot for weeks. She'd researched the most dangerous selfie spots on Pinterest, because apparently that's a thing now, and had her heart set on this particular cliff that had already claimed 3 other selfie enthusiasts that year. But hey, their photos didn't go viral enough, so clearly they just weren't trying hard enough. She found the perfect spot, a scenic overlook with a 200-foot drop and signs that basically screamed danger in 17 different languages. But our social media star was too busy setting up her phone timer to notice these minor details. She'd brought a whole arsenal of equipment, 3 different phones for multiple angles, a selfie stick that could extend to ridiculous lengths, and even a portable ring light, because proper lighting is apparently more important than proper safety. She backed up for the perfect angle, backed up a little more for that dramatic effect, and kept backing up until, Well, let's just say her last post got way more engagement than she expected. Remember, kids, no amount of likes is worth becoming a permanent part of the landscape below. Now, if you thought risking your life for social media was bad, wait until you hear about our next contestant who mixed electricity with water. Number 8, Bathtub DJ. In 2018, a 28-year-old music lover decided to revolutionize his bath time experience because apparently rubber duckies and bubble bath just weren't cutting it anymore. This genius thought it would be absolutely brilliant to set up his entire DJ mixing board on a wooden plank across his bathtub. You know, for that perfect underwater bass experience. His roommate tried to warn him about the whole electricity plus water equals bad news situation, but our aspiring aqua DJ brushed off these concerns like soap bubbles. "It's battery-powered," he allegedly said. What could go wrong? Well, turns out those waterproof extension cords he bought online weren't as advertised. The neighbors called it in as a suspicious popping sound, followed by very loud, very brief screaming. When emergency responders arrived, they found him doing the ultimate dance move, the permanent electric slide. Let this be a cautionary tale. If you want to drop the beat, don't drop it in the bathtub. From shocking musical mishaps to gravity-defying gardening disasters, our next winner proves that green thumbs can still make deadly decisions. Number 7, the flying gardener. Gardening is supposed to be a peaceful, relaxing hobby, right? Well, nobody told that to our 2019 Darwin Award winner, who decided to take lawn care to dangerous new heights. This 45-year-old suburban dad was tired of his neighbor's tree dropping leaves in his perfectly manicured yard. Instead of having a normal conversation or calling a tree service, he decided to handle the situation himself with a chainsaw while hanging from a hot air balloon. You heard that right. Our aerial arborist had been feuding with this tree for 3 years. He'd tried everything the normal way: raking, leaf blowers, passive-aggressive notes left on his neighbor's door. But this tree was apparently mocking him, dropping leaves faster than he could clean them up. He became obsessed, measuring the leaf accumulation daily and documenting the invasion with spreadsheets and photo evidence. The hot air balloon idea came to him during what his wife later described as one of his episodes. He'd been watching too many action movies and decided conventional tree trimming was for quitters. He spent 2 months convincing his equally brilliant brother-in-law to pilot the balloon, promising him free beer for a year and the chance to be part of landscaping history. He convinced his equally brilliant brother-in-law to pilot a hot air balloon while he dangled below with a chainsaw to trim the problem branches. The plan was going surprisingly well for about 30 seconds. Then our aerial arborist realized that chainsaws create vibrations. Vibrations loosen grip strength, and gravity is remarkably unforgiving. He managed to take out 3 tree branches, a power line, and himself before landing in what used to be his prized rose garden. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. He finally solved his leaf problem by becoming fertilizer for the very garden he was trying to protect. Number 6, the breakfast bomb. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Our 2020 Darwin Award winner took that advice way too literally and way too explosively. This food blogger was always looking for the next viral cooking trend. Apparently, regular pancakes and bacon weren't cutting it for his growing social media following. So he decided to create what he called extreme breakfast, a meal cooked entirely using fireworks. Because nothing says good morning like potentially deadly pyrotechnics in your kitchen, right? Our culinary explosive expert had been documenting his increasingly dangerous cooking experiments for months. It started innocently enough with Flambe Fridays, but his follower count grew faster when he added more fire to his recipes. He became addicted to the comments and the adrenaline rush of cooking with danger. His kitchen looked like a combination restaurant and weapons depot. He'd spent weeks researching alternative cooking methods and somehow convinced himself that controlled explosions were the future of food preparation. His girlfriend had moved out after the incident with the flaming spatula, but our chef was undeterred. This was going to be his masterpiece, the video that would finally make him internet famous. The plan was simple: use Roman candles to toast bread, sparklers to cook eggs, and a small firework called a screaming Mimi to make what he described as the world's most exciting coffee. The Roman candles worked okay for about 15 seconds. The sparklers actually managed to cook 1 egg, But that screaming Mimi? Well, it lived up to its name. The explosion was so spectacular that his neighbors 3 blocks away thought someone was demolishing buildings. The blast was visible from space. Okay, maybe not space, but definitely from the International Space Station's Twitter feed made a joke about it. Number 5, Bear Whisperer. Camping is supposed to be about getting back to nature and finding inner peace. Our 2019 Darwin Award winner definitely found something in nature, but it wasn't peace. This 26-year-old outdoorsman was convinced he had a special connection with wild animals. His social media was full of photos with various creatures: squirrels, raccoons, even the occasional deer. But our nature boy wanted to go bigger, much bigger. During a solo camping trip in bear country, he spotted a massive grizzly bear near his campsite. Instead of doing what any reasonable person would do, like running, making noise, or playing dead, he decided this was the perfect opportunity to prove his animal whispering abilities. Armed with nothing but confidence and a pocket full of trail mix, he approached the 800-pound apex predator. His final journal entry read, "Day 3, found the most beautiful bear. Going to show him that humans and bears can be friends. This will change everything." Well, he was right about one thing. It definitely changed everything. Park rangers found his campsite the next morning. Let's just say the bear left some very clear evidence that he wasn't interested in making friends. The trail mix was still scattered around the area, which suggests even the bear thought that was a pretty stupid plan. Now, if you thought approaching wild animals was a bad idea, wait until you meet our next contestant who decided to take on Mother Nature herself. Number 4, Stormchaser Supreme. Storm chasing can be an exciting hobby when done by professionals with proper equipment and years of experience. Our 2018 Darwin Award winner had none of these things but all the enthusiasm in the world. This 29-year-old weather enthusiast spent his weekends chasing tornadoes in his modified pickup truck. And by modified, we mean he welded some metal plates to the sides and called it tornado-proof. His YouTube channel had dozens of videos of him getting way too close to dangerous weather. Each video ended with him promising to get even closer next time. Well, be careful what you promise. During a particularly intense tornado season, our storm chaser spotted what meteorologists later classified as an F4 tornado, winds over 200 miles per hour, and about as friendly as a blender full of razor blades. Most people would see this and think, time to go home. Our hero saw it and thought, time to get famous. He drove straight toward the tornado, live streaming the whole thing. His last words on the video were, "Holy cow, guys! I think I can actually drive into the eye of this thing." Spoiler alert, you cannot drive into the eye of an F4 tornado. What you can do is become the tornado's newest collection item. They found pieces of his tornado-proof truck scattered across 3 counties. The truck's GPS was still working when they found it, and the last recorded speed was 180 miles per hour. Straight up. From weather disasters to athletic ambitions gone terribly wrong, our next winner proves that sometimes the Olympics should have qualification requirements beyond just showing up. Number 3, Olympic dreams, gravitational reality. The Olympics inspire us all to reach for greatness and push the boundaries of human achievement. Our 2019 Darwin Award winner definitely pushed some boundaries, just not the ones he intended. This 33-year-old had watched the Winter Olympics and decided he was destined for ski jumping glory. Never mind that he'd never been on skis before, lived in Florida, and had the athletic ability of a 3-legged turtle. But details like experience and training weren't going to stop our aspiring Olympian. He spent weeks building what he called a practice ski jump in his backyard. And by ski jump, we mean a wooden ramp that looked like it was designed by someone who'd never seen actual snow. The ramp was 30 feet high, had no safety features, and pointed directly toward his neighbor's swimming pool, because apparently he thought water would make for a softer landing than snow. On the big day, he strapped on some makeshift skis, basically wooden planks with rope, put on a helmet, the only smart thing he did, and prepared for Olympic glory. The takeoff went surprisingly well. He actually got airborne, which probably surprised everyone involved, including physics. The problem was the landing, or more accurately, the lack of landing technique. Instead of gracefully gliding into the pool, he performed what witnesses described as a screaming human missile, that missed the water entirely. He cleared the pool, the deck furniture, and embedded himself in his neighbor's garden shed with enough force to relocate it 6 feet. The good news? His homemade skis worked perfectly. The bad news? Everything else about his plan was catastrophically flawed. Speaking of catastrophic planning, our next winner decided to reinvent transportation with predictably disastrous results. Number 2, the rocket-powered commute. Traffic jams are annoying, but most of us just deal with them like normal, patient human beings. Our 2020 Darwin Award winner was not most of us. This 27-year-old entrepreneur was tired of his daily commute taking so long. Instead of leaving earlier or finding alternate routes, he decided to solve the problem with rocket science. Specifically, he was going to strap rockets to his motorcycle and fly over traffic. He spent months and his entire savings building what he called the commuter rocket, a motorcycle with military surplus rocket engines mounted on the back. His calculations, done on napkins and apparently by someone who'd never taken a physics class, suggested he could achieve controlled flight at about 200 miles per hour. The test day arrived, and he invited his friends to witness transportation history. He strapped on his helmet, revved up the motorcycle, and ignited the rockets. The good news, his calculations about reaching 200 miles per hour were absolutely correct. The bad news, his calculations about controlled and flight were spectacularly wrong. Instead of soaring gracefully over traffic, he shot forward like a human cannonball, lost control immediately, and turned his morning commute into an impromptu fireworks display. Witnesses said the explosion could be seen from 2 miles away, and the traffic jam he was trying to avoid backed up for hours as emergency crews cleaned up the crater. The irony? He would have been at work on time if he just left 5 minutes earlier. And now, for our grand finale, we have a tale that proves sometimes the simplest ideas can have the most spectacular failures. Number 1, the ultimate diet plan. Dieting is hard work. It requires discipline, patience, and usually giving up foods you love. Our 2018 Darwin Award winner found a way around all that hard work with what he called the ultimate weight loss solution. This 35-year-old life coach was always looking for the next big breakthrough in fitness and nutrition, but his final invention topped them all. He discovered that tapeworms can help people lose weight by eating food inside their digestive system. Instead of going to a doctor or doing any actual research, he decided to order some tapeworms online from a website that definitely didn't look suspicious at all. But why stop at regular tapeworms when you could get super tapeworms that promised maximum weight loss results? These weren't actually tapeworms, by the way. They were some kind of experimental parasite that the seller claimed was 10 times more effective than traditional methods. Our health guru swallowed a whole bottle of these mystery creatures, started a live stream to document his revolutionary weight loss journey, and waited for the results. The results were definitely revolutionary, just not in the way he expected. Within hours, he was experiencing what he described as intense intestinal activity. Within a day, he was experiencing what medical professionals later described as catastrophic organ failure. The autopsy revealed that his super tapeworms were actually a species of flesh-eating parasite that had never been tested on humans, because apparently some sellers will promise anything for 5 stars and a good review. As a special bonus, let's talk about someone who really should have known better. In 2019, a physics professor at a prestigious university decided to demonstrate the concept of momentum to his class using a bowling ball and a pendulum. Standard physics demonstration, right? Wrong. This professor had done this demonstration dozens of times safely, but on this particular day, he decided to make it more exciting by using a 20-pound bowling ball instead of the usual 5-pound ball. The demonstration involves standing against a wall, releasing the pendulum ball from your nose, and trusting physics to stop it from hitting you on the return swing. Physics works. Physics is reliable. Physics does not account for human error. Our professor forgot one tiny detail. He had to stand in exactly the same spot where he released the ball. He took one small step forward. The 20-pound bowling ball returned with all the momentum of, well, a 20-pound bowling ball. The impact was so spectacular that students in the back row felt the vibration. The good news? His students definitely understood momentum after that demonstration. The bad news? The professor was no longer available to explain the finer points of physics. Sometimes the best lessons are the ones you definitely don't want to learn firsthand. And there you have it, folks. Volume 31 of the most jaw-dropping Darwin Award winners that prove evolution is still very much a work in progress. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. You don't want to miss a single episode of our mind-blowing content that proves truth really is stranger than fiction. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and remember, if you're ever tempted to do something that might land you in our next video, maybe sleep on it first. Your future self will thank you.